hearing today. As you know, the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Subcommittee funds programs that affect every community across this country. Whether it's building and repairing our nation's affordable housing or fixing roads and bridges, the programs in this bill improve safety and help stabilize communities. I look forward to my colleagues' testimonies today, and I would hope that as we move forward on this legislation, we will continue to get input from them so that we can pass a bill that's not just efficiency, but also what I call affordable. So thank you so much, and now you're back.
Thank you. Today we kick off with a gentleman from New York, Representative Mannion. Every member will have the standard 5 minutes to testify, and your full written remarks will be included in the record. Please remember to turn on your microphones when you're speaking, and if you would, disengage when you are finished. Mr. Mannion, it is my honor to give you the floor for 5 minutes.
I appreciate the floor and the special treatment, Chairman Womack and Ranking Member Clyburn, members of the subcommittee. Thank you for holding this Member Day hearing and allowing me the opportunity to speak. I'm here today to discuss some of the transportation and housing priorities that are most critical to my constituents in Central New York and the Mohawk Valley. I want to start by talking about one of the most transformational projects in our region, and that is the reimagining of Interstate 81 in Syracuse, New York, and beyond. Over 60 years ago, the I-81 viaduct was constructed and cut through the heart of Syracuse, including a thriving black neighborhood known as the Old 15th Ward. This interstate physically divided the city, like in so many other cities across this country, which displaced families and created devastating inequalities that we still confront today. In recent years, the city, along with state and federal partners, have been working to finally replace the viaduct with a street-level community grid and diverting traffic around this neighborhood and the city of Syracuse. We believe collectively that this would improve opportunities and the quality of life for all residents of the Old 15th Ward and beyond. This is a major priority for the state and the region, and anyone commuting through downtown Syracuse would understand the importance. That's why the U.S. Department of Transportation had previously committed $180 million to the state for this project, $30 million of which was reserved for remaining work within the city of Syracuse. Unfortunately, in the reconciliation bill that passed last year, $30 million in funding was abruptly rescinded, and about $2.4 billion was rescinded for the entire program at the Department of Transportation, affecting dozens of critical projects nationwide in red and blue districts alike, representing people of all political affiliations. Most of these projects, I-81 included, were well underway, thoughtfully planned out, and strongly supported by their communities. We shouldn't get in the way of local priorities and undercut essential infrastructure investments that were planned, litigated, carefully thought out, engaged in public comment, and were seen as a high priority for the region. But when we get in the way, it leads to further delays and increased costs. The communities we represent depend on the government to be a reliable partner, and this subcommittee can help restore stability and fairness in funding decisions. We need to get back on track, and I encourage the subcommittee to recognize the harm done by these cuts and help strengthen funding for highway infrastructure improvements across the board. I specifically am requesting increased funding for the DOT Reconnecting Communities program, which can help fill the gaps for projects like I-81. In fiscal year 2026, Reconnecting Communities only received an appropriation of $30 million. That's a mere drop in the bucket compared to the $2.4 billion that was taken away from projects nationwide. In addition to an increase, I respectfully ask the subcommittee to consider language prioritizing projects impacted by last year's rescissions or that can otherwise demonstrate significant progress and community need. Beyond highway infrastructure, I'd also like to share with the subcommittee my strong support for several initiatives of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. HUD's Home Investment Partnership Program is critical for addressing a wide range of affordable housing needs and ensuring we have adequate housing supply. The Community Development Block Grant provides similar flexibility to states and local governments in carrying out activities that expand economic opportunities and improve quality of life. Finally, HUD's fair housing programs are essential for protecting against discrimination, investigating complaints, and providing direct community outreach and education. I sincerely hope to see bipartisan support for these priorities in the fiscal year 2027, and I'm willing to work with all of you to get these things done. Thank you again for having me here today, for your consideration, and for all the work that you do in helping communities across this country.
I thank the gentleman for his comments. His entire comment will be included in today's record. We are joined by the Dean of the House, Mr. Hal Rogers of Kentucky, and welcome to the Member Day Subcommittee presentation, Mr. Rogers. Any comments, any questions for Mr. Mannion? Jim?
I really don't have any questions, Mr. Chairman, but I will state this. I have visited with Mr. Mannion in his district. I know the project of which he speak, and before going there, I was up in Madison, Wisconsin, and saw a similar project to reconnect neighborhoods there, building a park over the viaduct that had been used to divide that community. And before that, I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I saw what the mistakes that were made there. And I really subscribe to de Tocqueville's notion that what makes this country great is not that we may be more enlightened than any other nation, but rather we've always been able to repair our faults. And this is a fault that was committed some 60 years ago that needs to be repaired. And I want to thank him for bringing forth this. I hope we can work together, not just on this project, but those others that will be coming to us, because I think it is our responsibility to do what is necessary now to repair those faults that somebody made decades ago so that this country can move forward together. So thank you so much for being here, and now you're back.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mannion. We appreciate your participation today.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ranking Member, for coming to the old 15th Ward.
We've had other members that are scheduled to appear here on Member Day, and we'll have to pause here briefly as we wait on the next speaker. Many of these speakers are double booked. We have other subcommittees that are having meetings here this morning, so we'll wait temporarily until we get the next member here. I think it's supposed to be Jeff Van Drew from New Jersey. We'll hold forth here momentarily while we wait for his appearance. We'll stand by. Once again, I want to welcome everyone to the Member Day presentations in front of the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Subcommittee of Appropriations. We'll head next to our next speaker, Jeff Andrew, who represents the 2nd District in New Jersey. Mr. Van Drew, thank you for joining us for your testimony. It's been a pleasure to hear about the needs of your community. We agree that prosper-driven projects can help local economies grow and prosper. And with that, I want to yield to you the customary 5 minutes to make your opening statement. And then should any of the subcommittee members have questions, we'll take that up following your presentation. Your entire comments will be included in the record. Mr. Van Drew, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member. It is good to be here with you today, and I thank you for the opportunity to discuss the FY 2027 Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Appropriations Bill. First, I request the committee continue robust funding for the FAA Technical Center for Advanced Aerospace. This is a worthwhile investment. It's a very worthy endeavor. It's very important to my district, but it's important to the United States of America as we look at ensuring that our air travel is safer, better, and on the cutting edge. This committee has been good to the Technical Center. I continue to request that we provide this robust funding for Technical Center laboratories and for infrastructure. The work we do there is essential for aviation safety. Second, I have 5 community project funding items to highlight. Below on this page, and you have this stuff, is the full list of the projects, including project submission numbers, before I go into more detail. You don't need that. I know that you have that. First one is Middle Township Youth Development Facility improvements. My top priority for community project funding across all accounts is economic development funding to conduct facility improvements at a youth development facility in Middle Township. I am personally familiar with this facility, and I've been in government over 30-some years, not Congress, only 8 years, but I've seen a lot of facilities, I've seen a lot of activities to try to help youth. This is one of the most effective. I wish that, I mean it sincerely, each one of you could see it. It started out with a certified public school teacher who decided that he wanted to do more, and he threw everything he had into this facility to start it. It is for kids who, frankly, after school come home and have nothing. They have a lot of issues in their lives, a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. They go to this facility. They do their homework there. They have role models there. We have local members from the community, from everything from nurses to people who are in the military, to the police. The chief of police is involved. It's a very, very good, effective program. They have athletics, sports, conversation, dialogue. It's real. I haven't seen anything quite as good as this. I'm making a big deal about it because it is a big deal. It really, sometimes things on paper look like they help something, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. This is the real thing. This is really real. And it's $300,000, but they'll use it and they'll put it to good use. The project is sponsored by the municipal government of Middle Township and will conduct eligible capital improvements on a beloved community youth development facility that gives young people, often from difficult homes, athletic training, job training, life skills, and values. And the project is similar to the several YMCA facility projects that the committee funded in last year's bill, if you remember. Next is the Aviation Business Park Electric Utility Connection, $5.4 million. This project requests economic development funding to construct a utility connection between that FAA Technical Center that I spoke about before, which a lot of the research that is being done for the country is going on there, just so you know how we're going to modernize our control towers, our airports, et cetera. And we have a National Aviation Research and Technology Park there. This project is supported by the Technical Center, the FAA, who proposed the concept themselves. The project has countless economic development benefits. It will help the federal government to access private sector technology, the business park to attract tenants, aviation tech businesses to gain access to affordable energy, and workers to find high-value jobs. It will advance work that improves aviation safety and operation at a national level. Next one is the Hamilton Airport improvements. This project requests airport improvements funds to construct taxiway safety improvements, security improvements, parking and hangar space at the Hamilton Airport. The FAA has verified that the project is eligible, and Hamilton itself, the town of Hamilton, has matching funds. So there's a local investment as well. The airport has a waiting list of tenants who already want to get in. The improvements will allow the airport to immediately grow and to increase activity. This will be advantageous to the local agricultural community. Hamilton is known as the blueberry capital of the world. As an aside, I always try to tell people I kind of advocate for my home state. We have bustling cities, and we're the most densely populated state in the United States of America. But the southern part, which I have, which is the biggest congressional district geographically in the state, #1 in cranberries, #1 in blueberries, plus a variety of other specialty crops and items. So there's a lot of farming. Hamilton is dead center in the middle of that farming area. It'll improve New Jersey State Police emergency medevac services that are based out of Hamilton Airport. Reed's Beach Road. Reed's Beach Road is a small road in Middle Township which suffers regular flooding. This is a really simple project. You've seen many of them before. Funds will be used to elevate and pave the road to ensure safe and resilient access for residents. The New Jersey Department of Transportation and the South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization have both provided letters that this project is eligible to be placed onto the state transportation improvement plan. Again, state investment. And Middle Township has matching funds. So we have state buying into it and the local municipality buying into it and funding. Egg Harbor Township flood-prone real estate acquisition. This project will use economic development funds to acquire blighted properties on something that's called the Black Horse Pike going into Atlantic City, New Jersey. These properties lie along the highway which connects the mainland to Atlantic City, the barrier island, and it is inundated with regular flooding. Egg Harbor Township is going through a regular process of buying these properties to make these improvements. The project is eligible according to committee guidance, your committee guidance, and the Egg Harbor Township, again, has matching funds of $1 million. Try to always make sure there's a buy. If these people are serious, they've got to buy into all these projects. There is local, state, county buy-in depending on the project as well. And, gentlemen, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Van Drew. You went about 2 minutes over, so your fine today is a couple of flats of those Hamilton blueberries. So in the proper season,
You'll get them.
we'd like to taste some of those. I don't have any questions. Mr. Clyburn.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I welcome Mr. Van Drew. Mr. Van Drew, I learned at a very early age, spending summers in New Jersey, why it is called the Garden State.
Yeah.
And so you don't need to make the case with me about those blueberries. I'm very familiar with them. Also a little bit familiar with those densely populated areas like Paterson, New Jersey, where I got married. And so I know the state very well, and I think you make a good case for why congressionally directed funding is so very important to these communities. And so with that, I look forward to working with you on this. Now you back.
I thank you, Ranking Member. And if you remember, we had talked, I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey. I grew up on East 30th Street. And that was a much more compact area than where I ended up living most of my life, but yeah, until I was 16. PS 26.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for your
Thank
testimony.
you, I appreciate you.
You bet. Our next colleague to speak here at Member Day is Harriet Hageman. She is the at-large representative representing all of the great state of Wyoming. Representative Hageman, it's an honor to have you here today. We're going to give you 5 minutes to make your comments known to the subcommittee, and your entire comment will be submitted for the record. And if there are any questions following, we'll take those up at the appropriate time. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman Womack and Ranking Member Clyburn and members of the subcommittee. I am grateful for the opportunity to testify for the subcommittee's Member Day hearing on the importance of trucking in Wyoming and highlight a few issues that I believe require attention as we develop the appropriations bills for fiscal year 27. My home state of Wyoming sees a considerable amount of truck traffic. We play a vital role in America's supply chains, particularly when it comes to the flow of essential goods and resources from the heartland to communities across the nation and beyond. To put this level of traffic into perspective, according to data from the Wyoming Department of Transportation, Wyoming's stretch of I-80 alone sees an average daily traffic count of around 13,000 vehicles, with trucks making up 50%. The goods that originate in and flow across Wyoming's freight corridors not only directly support America's national and food security, but also serve as vital connections for our rural communities and small businesses, enabling their growth and ability to attract economic development. The significance of the trucking industry cannot be overstated. Increased traffic, however, poses its own share of challenges. According to a study released in September 2025 by the Truck Safety Coalition, based on 2023 data, Wyoming ranks highest in fatal truck car accidents, with 7 per 100,000. Data from the Wyoming DOT revealed that between 2018 and 2022, there were 4,106 total crashes involving commercial motor vehicles, with approximately 90% of these originating from out-of-state drivers. Many of these accidents can be traced back to the highly treacherous nature of our roadways and the unpredictability of Wyoming's weather, which together create risk for even the most skilled commercial driver's license or CDL holders. It is for these reasons that the issuance of CDLs must be limited to individuals who are properly vetted, trained, and prepared to react and respond in high-risk situations. One such prerequisite that should always remain uniform among CDL holders is the ability to be proficient in the English language and to place out of service those who are not. Being able to read, write, and speak English proficiently is a fundamental safety matter that impacts everyone who travels on our roadways. Across Wyoming's highway system, we frequently utilize variable message signage that displays important warnings or instructions to drivers, including for high winds, winter road conditions, black ice, and accidents ahead. Failure to read and understand these messages can lead to disastrous consequences, as we have unfortunately seen on too many recent occasions. Despite this proficiency standard being a long-standing requirement under pre-existing federal regulations, prior administrations have sought to loosen these practices and weaken enforcement, directly threatening the safety of American motorists. While this has been reversed under the direction of the Trump administration, I commend the subcommittee's leadership for the inclusion of binding language in fiscal year 26, requiring the DOT to ensure that non-compliance with longstanding English proficiency standards trigger an out-of-service order. And I strongly urge the subcommittee to retain this language in fiscal year 27, preventing future attempts to erode this common sense safety measure. A second issue that warrants consideration is the presence of chameleon carriers on our roadways, which are high-risk trucking companies that operate by shutting down and reopening under different identities, rotating through names, ownership structures, or DOT registration numbers to avoid penalties, enforcement actions, insurance consequences, and public scrutiny. These bad actors have operated on our roadways with ease for decades, with little to no recourse to properly identify and hold them accountable. Earlier this year, a devastating crash in Indiana caused by an illegal alien, which tragically took the lives of 4 individuals, was linked to a coordinated chameleon carrier network operating out of the Chicago area with ties to Kyrgyzstan. To address this issue, I have introduced H.R. 7539, the Safety and Accountability in Freight Enforcement Act, mandating the creation of a new advanced automation tool to improve the vetting process for obtaining DOT numbers so that we can detect these bad actors and properly hold them accountable, codifying work already being undertaken by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. To that end, for fiscal year 27, I strongly encourage the subcommittee to adequately fund FMCSA's efforts to modernize its registration system. Finally, I want to briefly shift gears and urge that the subcommittee continue prioritizing rural air service by sufficiently funding the Airport Improvement Program, FAA's Aviation Workforce Development Programs, and the Small Community Air Science Development Program, which support critical airport infrastructure projects and help fill rural aviation workforce needs. Once again, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to testify. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I yield back.
Thank you, Representative Hageman. No questions from the chairman. Mr. Ranking Member has no questions. Your entire written testimony will be included in today's record, and we appreciate you coming in here and making those comments known to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, this is Member Day for the Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development Subcommittee of Appropriations. Our next speaker is Representative Delia Ramirez, who represents the 3rd District of the great state of Illinois. We want to thank you for joining us today for Member Day, and we'll give you the floor for 5 minutes.
There you go. Can you hear me now? Great. I really appreciate that you would invite members to provide input on the appropriations process and allow us to provide the written testimony on the agencies and programs under the jurisdiction of Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development and the related program subcommittee. So thank you again. I want to start by acknowledging just how important the work that you do is. We know that investing in our infrastructure is an investment in the safety and the well-being of our communities, the economic development of our region, and certainly the thriving futures of our families. The funds that this committee designates and the programs you protect significantly impact the constituents that I represent and their quality of life. In Illinois, the list of needs is extensive. Over 1 million lead water service lines must be replaced to protect the health of Illinois communities. 400,000 of those are in Chicago alone. 9% of our bridges, mainly in rural communities, need massive repairs. A severe and worsening affordable housing shortage, which would require funding for at least 300,000 new units in the state of Illinois. And in my district, we desperately need funding to expand our rail system and address rail and road security concerns to protect our families, our environment, and certainly our infrastructure. Grant programs like the CRISI, the Consolidated Rail Infrastructure and Safety Improvements, the Federal Railroad Administration's National Railroad Partnership, NRP, the Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development, BUILD, the Low or No Emission Grant, the grants for buses and bus facilities, competitive program, and the Safe Streets and Roads for All meaningfully improve the lives of our constituents by investing in the infrastructure of these communities. These programs connect communities, they reduce congestion, they improve public transit, and they spur economic development. And housing is also an essential component of public infrastructure because it provides a secure social and economic foundation for our communities. It is why I'm deeply concerned about the attacks on HUD, including the efforts to pen long-standing policy and prohibit families with mixed immigration status from receiving housing assistance or living in federal housing programs like public housing in Section 8. These attacks are not just an assault on working families, they're an assault on the civil rights of legal protections that have been historically marginalized communities. This committee has long allocated resources to ensure that federal law, which allows families with mixed status to live together while eligible family members receive HUD housing assistance, is upheld. Because we understand our neighborhoods thrive when everyone, no matter how long they lived here, have a safe, affordable place to call home. But the proposal that we have now is separating families, it's increasing homelessness, and it's making it harder for communities across our state to address the housing crisis we see every day. And it's imperative that we address the crisis, especially when 114 million people are renting in the United States, and more than half of them are spending more than 30% of their income on housing costs alone. Among people with lowest incomes, 75% of them are spending more than half of their income on housing every month. It means that if the gas prices are up, if groceries are up, they barely can afford to buy anything else because 75% of their income is going to housing. You see, rents have skyrocketed since COVID-19 pandemic, and they're not showing any signs of slowing down, given the impacts of the tariffs and so many of these wars abroad. There's no state or congressional district in this country with enough affordable, available rental homes for tenants with the lowest incomes. And if the president is serious about addressing the housing crisis and ensuring that every American has a safe and stable place to call home, then we need Congress to make more significant investments in federal housing programs. And that includes the Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, HAPWA, and their Fair Housing Initiative program. And so I want to ask you, Chair Womack and Ranking Member Clyburn, to really fight to continue to increase adequate and sustained funding for housing programs, while also defining congressional intent for the funds that protect them from misguided action by the administration. We have the resources to ensure that all of us, immigrants or otherwise, have the freedom to live where we want and to take care of our families without fear of eviction, because housing stability is economic security. And I urge you to continue to prioritize housing security and infrastructure. Thank you for allowing me to speak today here in front of you, and I continue to commit to work with all of you to ensure that we make housing and infrastructure a priority in our country. Thank you, and I yield back.
We thank you for your testimony here this morning, and once again, your full written statement will be included in today's record. I don't think there's any question that the discussion of housing is affecting every single member in the Congress. I mean, it's a challenge in my district, it's a challenge in Jim's district, and you've articulated a pretty basic fundamental need, and that is how rising housing costs are impacting everyday lives, the lives of everyday Americans. We have a limited allocation, and we will always be subject to meeting the needs as best we can meet them based on the allocation that we have, and that continues to challenge this particular subcommittee and the Congress writ large. So you bring these items up publicly, and we appreciate that. We recognize them, and Jim, we do the best we can with the allocation that we're provided.
Absolutely, and I thank you so much for being here today. And Mr. Chairman, I agree. We are very, very cognizant of this issue. We worked very hard last time around. We wait now for the president's budget, but we will do what we can to respond to the issues that you raised, irrespective of what may come over in the president's budget. I was very pleased with the way we worked last year on this issue, and I think we'll be going forward into the future with the same kind of intense scrutiny and understanding of what's happening in this country. I was shocked the other day. I'm still not believing this, and I want to see the actual figures, Mr. Chairman, that the average age of a first-time home buyer today is over 40.
Yeah, that's right.
That's about time for retirement. And all of a sudden, you aren't able to afford to buy a home until you're almost ready to retire. We're going to work on this, and we're going to work on rental assistance and what we can to keep people sheltered. That's part of our mandate, not just here in the Congress, but that's part of our mandate as people who are fundamentally believers in the doing for others as we would have them do for us. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ranking Member, and thank you, Chairman. I really deeply appreciate your leadership.
And to piggyback on what Jim said, this is one of my long-range concerns about housing as we're discussing here this morning, and that is what Jim just said about first-time home buyers and the average age is alarming, because so much of a middle-class family's wealth or net value has been traditionally based on the ability to afford the initial home at a young age, and then to be able to upgrade over time, buy something a little bigger, a little more expensive, and to be able to build equity in those positions. And I think if you look at the spectrum of middle income class Americans, you would find that that their net value individually is built primarily on a real
Underability.
estate
That's right.
transaction that grew over time.
Chairman,
And if
can-
they're not buying until
40, 42, 44.
later in life, then the ability to build that equity and to develop at least a stable financial platform is compromised.
That's right.
In my strong opinion.
Chairman, if I can just 5 seconds tell you, 25% of millennials, so those that are between the ages of 28 to 44, believe that they'll never be able to purchase a home. And the most, I think, drastic statistic of that is that these are people who are making 3 times more than their parents made. And their question is, how is it that my parents made a third of my income? They purchased that home, but I cannot. So I really appreciate the work that you are all doing to make sure that we make accessibility truly an economic stability priority. Thank you.
Really appreciate your testimony. Thank you so much. And then our final scheduled speaker has arrived. She is Melanie Stansbury. She represents the 1st District of the great state of New Mexico. Rep. Stansbury, we appreciate you being here today. Your entire written testimony will be included in today's record. And with that, we'll give you the floor for 5 minutes.
Good morning. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, to bring forward our priorities here in this committee. Today, I would like to focus actually on the community project funding requests that we've submitted for this committee. And in particular, I represent New Mexico's 1st Congressional District in central New Mexico, which includes Albuquerque and 10 rural counties. And it's a place like much of rural America where people are truly struggling, whether that's housing, behavioral health, access to fundamental infrastructure for economic stability, the ability to care for children, and of course our communities that need continued support, including our veterans. And so my work on behalf of my community is heavily focused in all of those areas and investing in the fundamental infrastructure that our communities need to do so. So I'd like to outline some of our key community project funding requests this year, starting with housing. Housing is of course a priority. I overheard the last member testifying. I think it goes without saying that across America there is an affordable housing crisis, both in terms of the availability of housing stock as well as people who are truly living on the edge, and having programs that can help transition people who are living on the edge back into homes and back into housing. And that's why I have submitted 6 key projects for our community in the housing arena, including a transitional housing facility for people who are struggling with addiction and to get back on their feet after being in homelessness in Albuquerque. We also have several projects to prevent homelessness and provide housing stability in the city of Albuquerque and in Bernalillo County. We also have several projects that would acquire both housing plots as well as rehab housing for low-income families in the Albuquerque metro area, and another project that would invest in housing for one of our tribes, the Mescalero Apache tribe in southern New Mexico. These are vital programs for the prosperity and well-being of our community, and we hope that we can humbly ask for your support in this committee as those requests move forward. We also are looking at how to transition families and individuals who are in need of stabilization, including requests for behavioral health and other transitional programs. We've requested funding for a reentry and stabilization program for people who are coming out of incarceration to help them have stable housing and reintegrate into the community. And we are also working on food insecurity. New Mexico is a state where 1 in 5 families experience food insecurity, and it's particularly acute in our rural and tribal communities. And so through the city of Albuquerque, we are requesting funding for a statewide food distribution program to ensure that food reaches low-income families in some of the more remote places of our state. We also are requesting money through this particular subcommittee for infrastructure for our farmers, for irrigation infrastructure. I know that's a bit of an unusual request, but we were able to get funding for the Rio Grande Pueblos last year through this committee, and I want to thank you for your support and leadership. Those are critical investments As I'm sure you know, the West is experiencing a severe drought year, and with the heat dome that is currently over much of the West right now, we have insufficient snowpack to get through the water year likely, which is going to severely impact our farmers this year. And ultimately, that will have severe impacts on food insecurity across our communities. We also include a request for a program in Albuquerque that helps with early childhood education and destabilized families who are coming out of homelessness. And so we would majorly expand a program called Cuidando los Niños in Albuquerque through our request. And we've also requested funding to build an AAPI cultural center in New Mexico, which is a very important part of supporting our Asian American community in New Mexico. And finally, I want to just emphasize that we've also requested funding for a veterans transit program. New Mexico has one of the highest number of enrolled active duty military and veterans in the country per capita. Service is a part of our blood, it's a part of our culture, it is a part of who we are, and it is, of course, our responsibility to make sure we take care of our veterans. And a high percentage of our veterans are in rural and remote areas, and so this project will help us reach those veterans. So I want to say thank you so much for your leadership. I want to thank you, Ranking Member, always for your work in all of these arenas, and for that, I stand for questions. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate your testimony. You did talk about one subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that is this transition program that we have for offenders. And it's critical, in my strong opinion. A large percentage of people incarcerated today, if you kind of peel back the layers of the onion, have offended based on substance abuse type challenges that manifested in other ways and found them in an incarcerated situation. But when they leave that incarcerated state and come back, it's that transition program that to me is make or break. They either have a path to success and stability, or if they don't have that, then they have a higher percentage of probability in reoffending and finding themselves right back in that condition. And I think this is a larger issue than just a housing piece. I mean, I think there are things that have to happen with these transition programs. First of all, we have to have employers willing to give second chance opportunities, and if they don't do that, then we're not setting them up for success. So we appreciate your broaching that subject because it is something that I think is representative of every member that serves in the U.S. Congress. Jim, I'll yield to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I associate myself with those comments, and thank you so much, Ms. Stansbury, for being here. You do raise issues that are very, very important to every member on this committee. And I agree that this whole issue of homelessness, as well as transitions, when I think about servicemen and women who are coming back from abroad, they're experiencing some real serious issues which I don't think we pay enough attention to. And so I join you in that, and you can rest assured that I'll be working very closely with the chairman on both these issues, as well as the others that you raised here today, and I thank you so much for bringing them forward.
We appreciate your time this morning. Mr. Clavin and I speak with one voice, one united voice, when it comes to discussing a lot of the issues that you discussed here this morning. So thank you so much. We have no other scheduled speakers this morning for Member Day. And Mr. Clyburn, do you have any final comments you'd like to make before we call it a day?
No, sir.
And with that, this subcommittee and Member Day stands adjourned.